Hey everybody, hope you are doing awesome today. Today we're going to talk about a kind of basic concept that is so key to all the different pieces you're looking to do, and yet it's something that's going to allow you to connect everything to make the results you want to have happen from a sales standpoint. So a lot of the times when I'm talking with insurance agency owners about growing their business, there's one of three things that they're having a challenge with. They're even having a challenge motivating existing team members to do multi-line sales. They're having a time finding the type of person that would hit those levels of sales, or they're having a hard time getting their existing group to do the activities, because sometimes those team members will do the activities, sometimes they won't. And so they need a greater level of consistency of results within that. And so it comes down to the coaching. So what I want to do is share with you some concepts and some frameworks that we've used literally for decades to get the type of results that'll help you getting team members doing what you need them to do from a production standpoint. Now, to be really clear, like anything else, this is difficult. If it was easy, everybody would do it, but there are some best practices that work that we find lead to the type of results you're looking for. So the first thing I want to suggest to you is to consider the type of sales process you want for your agency. So many agents are unintentional about this. They are looking to the company for their vision of what their sales process is supposed to look like, or they're simply saying, well, whatever the company goals are. And while we have many great companies out there, a lot of the times they don't have a specific way that they're suggesting you do it or a proven platform. They're constantly working on things, tweaking things, because let's face it, multi-line sales, life, health, annuity sales, they're not always that easy. And so the first thing I can invite you to consider is that if you have a multi-line insurance agency, if you're selling auto insurance and home insurance, property and casualty, in other words, the stuff that protects the stuff, so asset protection, property and casualty, that there's going to be a certain part of your book of business that wants nothing to do with multi-line review appointments or the questionnaire you have about their situation, what's important to them, or anything deeper. They just want their stuff protected. They have a car, they have a home, they have a condo, they have some arts or some fur or whatever it might be, some golf clubs, and all they want is their stuff collected or protected, and they have watched your ads, they know who you are, and they're like, great, I want protection for this. And for many of them, we can try forever, and they're not going to change from that. So my suggestion is to embrace that and say, you know what, guess what? I only want some people to deal with the property and casualty part, because if you look at your business model, a significant part of your income, if you're an established insurance agency owner, is coming from property and casualty. So if I have 50, 60% of my book of business that only wants help with auto insurance and home insurance, that is the easiest part of my business to train other people to maintain and to serve. So I want that. That's not a problem for me. That's a good thing. And yet that doesn't get me my multi-line sales. So then there's going to be a part of my book of business that says, yes, I want to make sure my family, my income is protected. And from a product standpoint for us, that means things such as disability insurance, life insurance, perhaps health insurance, some of the supplemental health policies or that sort of stuff. And then there's going to be a part of your book of business that they are focused on big goals and big dreams, and they want your help making that happen. So what we're going to be talking today about is how do we really focus on that left side of this model? If you've got your retention book being taken care of by team members that are awesome, great. What we want to do now is talk about how do we get the rest of them to deal with that left side. So if we're going to motivate producers to sell at a high level, we need to think about what it was that got you excited. So you started your business, somewhere somebody told you that if you could hit certain levels of production, or if you could build a team that it'd be worth a certain financial reward for you, you invested money, time, blood, sweat, tears. So to a team member, we want to be able to show them certain bonus opportunities. Now, this is a demo. This is not exactly what gets used by everybody, but this is one way you could do this, where you say, look, if you issue certain policies, we're going to pay you a bonus on that. And on the top here, each time you issue a certain amount of auto or fire policies or life policies or health policies, if you have a bonus that you hit, if you hit a certain target level, then I'll give you additional bonuses for performing at those levels. But bottom line, they don't care about that. All they want to know is if I write a certain amount of business, how much bonus do I make? So again, this is a demo opportunity here. It really would depend on your finances, your situation, as far as whether or not this is what they would want. But what we've got here is we've got an opportunity where we're saying, look, if you hit this level 1 projection, if you do 18 auto and 12 fire and 1 life policy and 1 health policy, here's how much you'd make in bonus in a month, that 875, and the 10,000 and change is what you'd make throughout the year. And again, that's not in everybody's market. That's based on, we need to customize that for your market. This is some dummy numbers here, but we need to show them an opportunity. Ultimately, they don't care about all the details and how you describe it. They want to know, if I do X, what's Y? How much money do I make if I hit these different levels? The other thing that's so critical that most people are not doing is we need to make sure you're sharing opportunities for them to earn additional paid time off. You do not want your team members to be jealous of you that you get free time. That leads you to feeling that you need to be in the office all the time, and it gets them to where they don't want to support you in getting outside. So what I want to tell people is say, look, there's some certain things that are so important to the agency that if you hit them, I'll give you paid time off bonuses. So in many insurance agencies, anywhere from 10 to 20 to 30 to 40 to 50, 60, 70 policies being issued would be a big deal. So I'm telling my team members, my Multiline team members, whether these are prospective team members or existing team members, if you issue 10 life policies in a year, I'll give you a day of paid time off. If you issue 20 a year, I'll give you 2 days. All the way down to the bottom, if you can issue 70 life policies in a year, I'll give you 20 days of paid vacation the following year. That will get you so excited if you have that ability to realize that it's not just finances, but you have paid time off opportunities. I can do the same thing with health insurance or annuities or property and casualty, whatever it is that's important to me, and I can make it very clear. If you perform at a high level, I'm going to make sure you get compensated well financially, and I'm going to make sure you have a nice lifestyle. You have the ability, like me, to earn a lot of money, and like me, you have the ability to earn a lot of paid time off. And as a detail, I can always let the people cash them out if they decide they don't want these bonuses later. But so I'm making a very clear offer. I've got a huge opportunity. There are team members and agencies around the country that are doubling their base salary. There's team members making 50, 60, 70,000 of bonus depending on the premiums of the area they're in. Many team members making 6 figures. I want somebody that's going to either A, be awesome with me while they become an agent and eventually open their agency, or B, become awesome and sell at a high level and never leave. I'm not looking to push them either way, but I want to make sure that they're not just saying, well, you know what, I don't get paid really well when I work here. I've got to go open my agency to pay well. I want them to know that, you know what, if they're a salesperson and they don't want to run a business, they don't have the capital, they don't want to take the risk, the timing's not right, they're a parent, they want work-life balance, whatever it might be, great. You come in and hit these numbers for me. I'll make sure, in this case, you'd have a 4-day work week, you'd be hitting your numbers, you'd be making probably close to 6 figures. I want to make sure that opportunity is there. So the first thing is the opportunity's got to be huge. The second thing, if I'm going to attract them, now I'm going to leverage this opportunity and I'm going to leverage the wisdom that I've learned over the last 25 plus years working with agency owners on how to recruit quality team members. So the first thing I need to understand is I need to attract a superstar. I don't need an average producer. There are some situations where agents are posting vanilla or copy and paste templates, and unfortunately, that's not going to find the superstars for you. So this is one of the templates we use. And again, it's something that would need to be customized to your situation. But this is what I sent to some of y'all in the message ahead of the call, and I can get to you after if you missed that. And basically, this is a type of ad you'd put on Indeed. Indeed uses cost per click ads. It might take you anywhere from $200 to $500 in ads to find a good person as you get exposure, and then you see which people come in and which people apply. But the ad is at the key of it. And basically what you're saying is, look, we have got this vision more than just making money. We help our clients find the money, protect their income, their loved ones, and their assets. And yet we can teach you to deliver high-level help to clients that leads to a high income. So we're bringing in the money. Most team members, now this happens to be from an agency, from my father's agency. When we last posted this, the average tenure of our team members was 11 and a half years. Whether they're a retention person or a multi-line person, most team members do not want drama. That's one of the main reasons they'll swap agencies, is they're not getting along with somebody. So we mentioned that there. We mentioned the opportunity. We've got a strong benefits package, health, disability, life insurance, 401k, and more. ability to earn $40,000, $100,000 a year or more, ability to earn paid time off, and then in our case, remote working possibilities, but only after 90 days if they demonstrate excellent performance. Ideal job fit, where somebody who's seeking to become an agent and wants to work for an agency and learn for 3 years, or money motivated and wants to earn a high income while helping people. So again, I'm making it very clear. I have opportunity. The responsibilities are going to build client relationships. We're going to write multi-line business. We're going to close sales. We're going to prospect for new clients. We're going to host multi-line review appointments. And you could be earning anywhere from $40,000 to $100,000 a year per more. And now I'm going to take those numbers from that bonus projection I sent earlier, and I'm going to plug them in here. And I'm going to say, look, here's your base salary. If you were able to do, in this case, and again, this is not for everybody, these are dummy numbers, but in this case, if you did 15 auto, 9 fire, 4 life, and $1,200 health premium a month, you'd earn $30,000 of bonuses. So that's 30 on top of 40, that's 70,000. So I'm spelling out the opportunity. I'm making it very clear to those people who are serious that I'm serious. I have opportunity. And then from there, I'm going to talk about the benefits we have. And again, you don't have to do all these, but these are the things that some of the best agencies I'm working with are doing. It's getting them a lot of quality team members that stay for long periods of time. And for me, the thing that's more important to me than even customer retention is team member retention. I want awesome team members, and I want them for decades. That's how you build an automatic agency. That's how you build an agency that allows you to then focus on greater levels of your genius rather than constantly coming back to putting out fires and being involved in the things that just drives you nuts and keeps you from doing your greatest work. Paid time off, there's different ways you can do this. Basically, I'm going to lean on the abundance side. I'd rather pay you well, have you take a lot of time off, and be well rested than have you not be. So it's that old saying, I'd rather, have somebody that's awesome that I'm paying good for and keep them. Whereas if somebody, and pay a premium, but know that I'm getting good results, getting what my money's worth, versus if I bring on somebody and they're not doing well, they're not going to make it to see year 6 where they get 20 days of paid vacation, or year 11 where they get 25 days of paid vacation. Also, I'm referencing the initial thing I mentioned as well. Earn up to 20 paid vacation days for issued life insurance sales. I don't have to tell them exactly the numbers because my targets might change. Earn up to 10 vacation days for issued health premium sales. Another 10 days for P&C sales. So I'm making it so clear that I've got a huge opportunity. There's a couple other details here. This is just some of the stuff that I put on Indeed. But basically, I'm making it so clear that I've got a huge opportunity. You can grow within our office. You can go pretty much wherever you want. And again, it's an in-person opportunity. But here's where I'm also getting specific. It's in person, it's in the office, and now I'm asking some of the screening questions because I want to create a huge opportunity, but I also want to weed out anybody who's just outright the wrong person. So what I'm going to do here is say, okay, here's some of the things that need to happen. You need to undergo a background check in accordance with local law and regulations. Then I'm going to ask them, how many auto insurance policies do you issue per month? How many of these other policies? How many life insurance, disability? I want to know what you're currently doing. What you're currently doing is a really strong indication of what you would do in the future. And then the property and casualty license is required. Life and health insurance is preferred. Again, I'm looking to hire a veteran person. So not a military veteran, but a person who's been doing this for a while. So when I talk about this salary range, going back a few steps here, of $40,000 to $48,000 or maybe even $50,000, it's based on that person's experience and the licenses they have. But I want to make sure I'm clear. I have a 6-figure opportunity for you to perform at a high level. And especially if you've been in the business for more than 24 years, remember something. Prices go up. Like my wife tells me, bread is not 50 cents a loaf anymore. So if you use the rule of 72 at 3% cost of living, normal cost of living adjustment, in 24 years, that's rule of 72. 3 times 24 is 72. So base salary is double. So if you say, well, Wade, years ago, base salaries used to be 20 to 25,000. Yes, they did in many areas. And now those same areas, it's 40 to 50,000. Cost of living, that's just life. That's not you being a big spender or a fat cat. That's you recognizing that if you want good team members, you need to pay for it. And then from there, then we go into the coaching part. So again, if I'm going to share, I've got a big opportunity. Even in the recruiting process, I'm also going to say, but I want you to understand, I'll also let you go if you're not good at the job, because I'm not going to just give away money. This is not one of those contracts where you interviewed really well and now you're set for life. No, this is me sharing with you what could happen, but I'm also going to share with you what I require. So In order to do that, let's get really clear on our core roles in our agency. The first role is our multi-line insurance expert. That's the person I mentioned in the beginning, that they're handling the auto and fire stuff, the customers that only want auto and fire, the retention stuff, all those things, the walk-in auto, even if it's a raw new auto, if you use that language. A raw new auto that walks in the door can be written by a retention expert. I don't need a rainmaker to make that happen. I've already earned that through my marketing, through the logo, through the company I'm affiliated with, whatever it might be. But that person provides me stability, sanity. They're awesome, but that's not the focus of today's call. The second person is my P&C growth expert who's stirring up P&C sales. They can also be awesome, but the main one we're focusing on today is that multi-line review expert, that person who's generating and doing client reviews. Notice I said generating. So you might use some of the call companies like Client Focus or EngageX, and if they're helping you, that's great. Or you might say, hey, guess what, team members? We only have a certain number of households, or I think you have enough time. You make those calls, you set your appointments. Maybe you'll convert at a higher level than some of the calling companies, and we can test that out. You're multi-lining your existing clients, and these people are the people that I'm targeting. I want 5 life, 5 health every month. That's the person that's going to really help me get the best results. And so for each of these roles, the retention, the acquisition, the multi-line person, I have standards. So if I were about to hire a pilot to fly in my airline, I'd say you got to do 3 things. You have to launch the plane, you have to safely fly the plane, and you have to safely land the plane. That's what you got to do. If you can't launch, fly, and land safely, you can't be a pilot. Well, in our roles, I'm saying here, if you're going to be a multi-line expert, I need you to do a certain number of life health bank quotes. At a certain level, you're doing outstanding. At a certain level, you're doing good. At a certain level, that's acceptable. Below that, it's unacceptable. And then there's complete failure. And for each of these measurements, there are rewards and consequences. At the top 3 levels, you're getting your bonuses. At the bottom levels, you're having possibly a job review. There might be probation, might be no bonuses. Second thing, I need you to conduct multi-line review appointments. Now, you might have different keys, but again, this is my second most important thing, and I have standards for that. And then ultimately, of course, the main thing is I need a certain number of issued life sales, because that's and life health bank sales, that's the nature of the position. So again, I have standards. So the person says, yeah, I want that, $40,000, $100,000 opportunity. Okay, this is what you need to be able to do. So, sure, I can do that, no problem. And you say, okay, great. Well, just so you know, there will also be production requirements on a week-by-week basis and eventually month-by-month. So I need to know in week 1, you come work with me. If you're already good at this job, you need to do 2 quotes per week, and that's a small amount. Then eventually it's 4, and then 6, and it's going to go up. I need you to do at least one multi-line review appointment per week, and eventually I need you to do at least 1 sale per week. Now again, I want to be really clear, a multi-line expert here, I'm not talking about a life health specialist. A life health specialist, the numbers would have to be a lot more than this because all they're doing is life health. I'm talking about a person who maybe is what some people call an account exec, somebody who has a certain number of clients in their either section of the alphabet, or if you just do the math in the agency, that's what's actually going on. And they're pivoting from the P&C transaction to the multi-line sale. But so with this, I have standards of what needs to happen so that by month 4, you're doing 8 quotes a week and 4 review appointments a week, and you're doing 4 sales. In other words, this is growing what I'm expecting of this person. I can also show them that I have a training framework that I'm going to take them through to let them know I can help them learn these things. And then also I have certain responsibilities that they need to be able to do in order to make things happen. And so what I'm doing overall is I'm creating a very clear picture. Again, I've overall created a situation where I'm motivating them. I'm showing a huge opportunity to my existing team members and to prospective team members. I'm attracting them with an opportunity for those that are not in the agency by putting that out into the marketplace and letting people know I have a 6-figure opportunity. I have a 4-day work week opportunity based on how you perform. And then finally, I'm coaching my existing team members and new team members to be that person. To new people I'm prospectively hiring, I'm letting them know that I have these standards. I will let you go at week 8 or at week 4 if you're not doing the things that need to be done. So I hope you find this helpful. If you'd like help creating these for your agency, again, I shared with you some demo information, some dummy numbers here. Ultimately, these are going to be more effective if they're based off of your agency situation. So if you'd like help creating this for your agency, go ahead and send me a message, or I'll send you some messages within the follow-up emails. I'll get some information on your agency, and I can help you create that compensation plan, the job posting, and the accountability standards for your agency. As always, look forward to helping you create all the impact income you like in less time. Do what you do best so you can fully enjoy your family, your friends, your freedom in your life. Let me know whatever I can do to serve you.